Hey guys, what's up? So today I'm going to be showing you how to use a really fun animation app called Pivot Stick Animator. It's really simple to use and really easy to use, but you can make loads of really cool stuff with it. It's got loads of potential and you can make absolutely loads of things with it. You'd simply install it by going on whichever web browser you prefer. I prefer Google. And you just simply search up Pivot Stick Animator, spelled like this, here, and then it will give you a screen, and then you can install it. It's absolutely safe with no viruses and 100% free. To use it, you can see I've got a default stickman here, and then you can change the limbs position by simply dragging the little red dot or joints like so. You can move the body, the arms, the head, even the legs. You have to remember that this isn't a real person and it's not that complicated. So you have to remember how you have to think constantly how you would move, and you have to not contort the body into weird positions that you would never be able to do unless you break a couple of bones. So you can delete a figure by just selecting the figure and clicking the delete figure, and then you do to add another figure, you do add figure. That'll give you another default stickman in the default position. If you wanted to make something else, for example, a chair or a ball, you would simply go edit figure type, file new, and then you would draw another figure. You could make a line or like this. You have to always start it from a joint, and you can see that at the start and the end of that line there is a joint. You can see there's always a yellow joint that moves the whole thing, and you can make a line into a circle or a circle into a line. You can draw a circle by going like that, and then you can change the type. So, for example, you can completely fill the circle. You can make the circle transparent. You can see that now I can see the little lines in between the big line, and then, or you can make it filled. So now you can see that you can only see the dots through it. You can see what it's like here. Circle white. Say if I wanted to make it filled, it will say filled. It'll show you the thickness and the length, the angle. To control how thick the line is, you would click this. That would change the thickness. You can see it's changing here, and you would select whichever line you want to do, for example the original one, and then you would control the thickness. If you didn't want the main joint to be there, you could change it. If you click on the line, you could change it to the other end. If you click on another line, for example, if you wanted to click on this one, you could change it to be at the end of that line, or at the end of that, or at the other end of the line. You can delete a segment by clicking the delete segment, and you can duplicate the segment by clicking this one. See, now I've got another segment and I can attach it anywhere I want, like so. You can make the line have multiple segments along this line. So now you can see that it's split into two segments and there's a joint in the middle. And then if you want to save it, you just click File, Save As. And if you wanted to add it to the animation, you click File, Add to Animation. Say if I wanted to make a chair, I would do that. If I want to delete that, I wouldn't be able to, because you always need to have a starting point. That is your starting point. So if I want to make a chair, I would maybe do that. and I'll make the seats. All of this is completely 2D, so you have to imagine it like it's 2D. You have to imagine how the side profile of the chair and how it's look on its side. So if you had add animation, you would say name it chair. And then now you can see that there's a chair there. You can make it bigger by making the 100 say 150, and then you can see that it's much bigger. You can control how transparent it is by using this toggle one. You can flip it by clicking this. To center it, the yellow dots will be in the exact center of the screen. You can drag it anywhere you want. You can see now that I've got this chair, this other figure, you can see that this figure's gone blue. That means that whatever you do to this will not affect that figure. It can go through and it won't move that figure until you select again by clicking on it. You can change the color by going like that. And then I want to say if I wanted a green chair, I'll just simply click green and then click OK. If you wanted to join these two figures, you will simply move the figure to how you want it to be. Say, like if it was sitting on the chair, it'll be sitting on the chair, and then click these, move it to how you want it to be, and then you'll click join, and then see now these are joined together. If you move this, it moves the entire thing. If you wanted to make it lower, like behind the chair, if you want to make this figure behind the chair, then you'll click this. That makes it the chair behind the figure. If you wanted the chair above the figure, like in front of the figure, you click this. And then if you wanted to copy it, and if you wanted to have another one of it, you could just click this. And it will just copy it, and then you could paste it by doing that. And you see there is now another chair. If you want to delete a figure, you just click that. Say if you want to start animating, then you would simply click add frame. See, it's taking a picture of your little square here or rectangle, and then it will put it up here. And then from up here you can see how many frames you've got and how the frames change. So if you wanted to make the figure's arm move, you would just simply move the arm a little bit up and then click add frame. And if you want to move it back, you click another add frame, front, add frame, back, add frame. If you wanted it to nod, you can move the head down, up, add frame. If you want to delete a frame, you just simply select the frame and click this delete selected frames. If you wanted to repeat a certain number of times, then you would just click this. If you wanted to copy it, then you will simply do that and then paste it at the end. Now to play these frames, you would just click play. This controls the number of frames in a second. And then if it's loop, that means it would play it 4 times and then loop it 4 times, loop it. Or you could stop it and then put it back to 1 and play. Say, see this little number? That means there's 33.3 frames per second. So it's playing this entire thing in which there is 7 frames. It'll be playing it about nearly this whole animation 5 times a second, which is really fast. You can make it slow. That means that the animation will be slower. See, it's slower. And then if you didn't want it to loop, you can just stop looping, and that'll do it. and it'll only play it once. If you wanted to unjoin the figures, you just click that again, and now you can see you can move the stick figure separately to the chair. If you don't move a center point, you can see that the center point is always fixed and it doesn't move. Top tips: you have to remember, if you want another figure to come on, like if you want a stick man to walk on, you have to remember that it can't just appear out of thin air, because that wouldn't be realistic. You can maybe make a figure come out here and slowly walk on, for example, like that. At the start, you would maybe only say you would only have it an arm within, and then you would have it say another arm in, and you have to remember that you have to click the last frame to carry on recording. Or if you want to carry on animating, you have to create the last frame before you can create another frame, or else the frame is created at the start. So if you do it now, you can see that this new scene has been created, will be created at the end. See, it'll be like that. And then if you want to create another one, and then it'll be created at the end. You have to remember that it's not an actual real person, so you have to move it so that it looks like it's moving, but you have to remember that it's not actually walking. You're just moving the limbs to make it look like it's moving. And you have to remember, if you want to add a frame, you have to click off any of the frame. You can't select any frame, or else it will just replace that frame with your new frame. Top tip number 2. You have to remember, when you're moving when you have multiple people or stick men or figures on your screen, you have to remember you have to move them all. You have to factor in every single detail. For example, if you're watching a film, you never see only one character moving, all the other actors are standing stock still. You have to remember that all of them move at the same time. You have to move multiple at the same time in the same frame. So this figure will not constantly be staying like that. You can make it maybe lean back whilst this is moving. Top tip number 3, you have to remember that to make it realistic, you have to remember how your own body would move. So if you wanted to create an arm, it wouldn't go all the way around. If you wanted to make the head move, it wouldn't go all the way around. You have to not contort the body in any way, unless if you purposely contort it. So say if you wanted to create a new one, then you couldn't make the arm go like that, because that wouldn't be realistic. Try and put your arm directly behind your head. It's impossible. And likewise, the leg can't be directly in line with your body in the center. It's impossible. You just can't do it. So say that would be an entirely impossible position. Well, if you want, you can just delete a frame. So if I add a few frames, you can just select a frame and delete it, or select a frame and copy it, or if you want to select a frame and paste it. So that's all for now. Go have fun, make new creations. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.